Alrighty, hello, welcome to another video. My name is Nick. Today we're going to do a bit of a 5-minute rapid fire review of Drawn to Life, Two Realms. Now, a bit of a disclaimer, I have not played many of the Drawn to Life games. I played the first one back on the DS, I think, for like a little bit. I very vaguely remember it, so if there's stuff that's come to be expected of the genre or story things that I may have missed because I'm not as initiated as a Drawn to Life fan would be, I apologize, and go ahead and say down in the comments if I missed any of that stuff. Now, what I do remember from the series and where the series gets its name from, and my favorite part of it, is drawing shit to life. The main character is known as the Creation, I believe, and what you get to do is you get to draw him. You just get to sit there and you get to doodle a wacky little man. And I'm not artistic, okay? I can't draw to save my life, but I did spend way too long creating a monstrosity that I will now unveil to you. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Benny Bones. And that right there is what I love about this game. I loved it about the one I played on the DS. I remember just being chuffed to bits about it back in the day. It was getting to design your own hero and bring them to the world. And it didn't matter how weird they looked or how cool you made them or whether or not they fit into the environment. It was your design, and that's fun. You get to tap into your childlike imagination and have some fun. And that is something that I wish they leaned more into in this game. Drawing did not play a very important role in the game. You got to do stuff here and there, like there'd be an NPC who's like, help me draw a fishing pole so I can make a fish. And you can do fun, wild stuff. Like I just straight up drew him a fish instead of a pole, because I don't know, I'm a little bit wacky and wild. But that's it. That's really most of the drawing was meaningless, aside from designing your initial character, and that's disappointing. That was the first thing that really disappointed me about the game. Now, at its core, this is a platforming game, okay? Basically, you've got this book that lets you invade people's minds, which, let me tell you, it was a little bit concerning to see my skeletal creation storming the human world and invading the minds of small children to bend their will to my whim. But that's neither here nor there. You have a book, it lets you get into people's minds, and then you battle away the, negative thoughts, I think, is what you're supposed to be doing. Basically, you get into their brain, you fight a couple levels, and then they say, oh, I changed my mind, I'll help you now, or whatever, for whatever story reason happens. The platforming, it feels good. Initially, I was using the keyboard, and it was tough. As soon as I switched to my Xbox Elite controller, I had a much better time. That may just be me personally. Platforming has always felt better for me on a controller as opposed to mouse and keyboard, so your mileage may vary, but platforming, the main part of the game, felt good. I had fun with it. And they do the interesting things. They're sort of like puzzle levels. You'll run into these stages all the time where you actually get to place the enemies, and you have to choose where they go strategically, because you have to bounce off their heads to reach certain points and all this stuff. It's very cool. It really gets you thinking, and it was honestly harder than I thought it was going to be. I had a good time. It was challenging, and I enjoyed it. Now, the final point here for the review is going to be about the story, the pacing, the general feel of the narrative aspects of the game. And let me tell you, I didn't enjoy it. It was very boring. It was all over the place. It was trying to do all of these things at once. Not good. It honestly, I was just clicking through dialogue, waiting for the characters to be done talking. I didn't grow a connection to any of them. I didn't care about their stories. Very flat, not fun. And they would do this thing where progression in the story was arbitrarily locked behind the number of stars you had. Basically, what I could tell, this was just a way to force you to play some of the side missions. There are NPCs scattered all around the world. They have a little exclamation mark above their head. You go up to them. You do one challenging platform level. They're fun, but they really don't have a story context. They have no meaning behind them. You do it, the game gives you a star rating on 1 to 3. And then these stars are what you have to use to sometimes unlock story progress, and it would throw you out of the immersion a little bit because, like, for example, a little girl, she would say, "Go find my dad," for the main story, and you go find the dad, and he would say, in a speech bubble, "You need 4 stars to progress." It's just weird. It's just a weird thing. If you're gonna have side missions, either make them good enough for me to want to do them to get these stars, or give me an actual good reason to need to do them to progress the story. It's just a very weird thing. So, overall, this game has a lot of highs and lows. The concept of the drawing and everything is fun, but it's not used enough. The platforming is nice, but it doesn't fit into the story, and the story is very dull and flat. For me, there are just as many high points as there are low points, and for me, I'm going to give this game on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being a doo-doo boo-boo game, and 10 knocking my freaking little socks off. I'm going to give this one a 5. Right in the middle. I would translate that to a meh. It didn't repulse me, and it didn't make me want to keep playing. So, you know, maybe if you're a fan of the series, you could pick this one up. If you like platforming and you can overlook having to click through a bunch of boring story, it might be fun to check out, but overall, not a great game. Not a great game. That's going to do it for this video. If I helped you out, drop a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. I post review videos all the time, and I will see y'all in the next video.